I advocate for the economic emancipation of Igbo and not the destruction of businesses and then the distortion of economic activities in the Southeast in the quest of the independence that we don't know when it will come.
This is the Stereosis.
As the Biafran agitation is heating up in the Southeast, you must know one thing, and then bear this in mind, that those who are trying to cripple economic activities in the Southeast are no other people than individuals without any tangible investment in the region. By the way, if you listen to the last podcast that was done by my colleague, you will discover that there are two types of Biafrans. Now, the first one are those who believe that it is only through territorial independence that prosperity can be achieved in the Southeast. And now there are the other type, which I am a part of, who believe that it is through economic liberation that prosperity can be achieved in the Southeast. We understand that our founding fathers or our leaders after the war had failed us. Because if they had invested a huge sum or a huge amount of money in the continuation of the progresses of those who fought the Biafran War in terms of the research and development program that was carried out by the Biafran soldiers and the group of scientists that worked with them, Nigeria and indeed the Southeast would have been more prosperous. When you search for territorial independence without economic liberation, it doesn't really work. Southern Sudan will prove a point. Now, Southern Sudan fought for independence over a period of years. And finally, that independence was given to them. And then I can tell you authoritatively that majority of the leaders doesn't know what to even do with those freedom so acquired. That is why I support a man like Gaius Chibueze, who believes in the economic Biafra, the economic emancipation of the Southeast, the development of the Southeast in the light of what Innocent Motors is doing, in the light of what Rosette Motors is doing, in the light of what Emma Moto is doing, in the light of what Tiger Food is doing in the Southeast. Do you talk more or less about Geometry Power Plant owned by Baton Naji? Or which should I mention and then leave the other? I believe that through the progresses of people like Zedora Electronics, who is based in Abakaliki, and then some other unknown businesses that are thriving in the Southeast, especially in the pharmaceutical industry. If we follow the routes that these people are following, it is a pathway to economic liberation of Igbo and truly Nigeria in general. You cannot develop a region by arming dissident groups, young men in their productive years. You arm them with the sake that you are fighting for the liberation of Biafra. And in doing so, the life and means of livelihood of a lot of our own people are being destroyed. If we work hard as a people, an Igbo can be the new Catalonia. The Catalonians fought their own civil war. They lost the same way the Biafrans lost the Biafran war. What did the Catalonians do? They went inwardly and did what? They developed their region into the biggest region in the whole of Spain, even with or without government intervention. Catalonia has become a sinecure of everyone in Spain. This is what we should be fighting in an Igbo. The huge chunk of money that is being plowed into the fight for the territorial liberation of an Igbo could be diverted into angel investment We have a lot of enterprising Igbo young men who, for lack of money, lie waste, who, for lack of industry, move out of the southeast into Lagos and other adjoining cities like Abuja in search of better life. The days and time, or the time that stories are told that Lagos was the only gateway to success for Ndi Igbo, is over. If we must, as a people, regain our pride and our rightful position in Nigeria, in the Nigerian project in general, we must first of all look home. We must come back home, develop our need, and then from that front, you can have bargaining powers. If you look at Ogun State, you look at Lagos, you see how industrialized these areas are. Someone might argue, yes, that they are highly favored by the federal government, but a greater chunk of the companies that are in Lagos are Igbo owned. A greater chunk of the businesses that are in Lagos are Igbo owned. Ndi Igbo must always look back home in their quest for success, because alaigbo could be the gateway not just to the rest of West Africa, but also to Central Africa. You talk about Central African Republic, you talk about Cameroon. Onitsha could be a market hub for Ndi Igbo. Why do we bear arms, killing our own people, distorting economic activities in the Southeast? Is that a progressive way of thinking? It's a question you need to answer for yourself. The only way is for us as Ndi Igbo to redouble our efforts, work as a unit, because of the saying that divided we fall and united we stand. We cannot continue in this light and then expect positive results. It is a folly and foolishness on its own. I advocate for the economic emancipation of Ndi Igbo and not the destruction of businesses and then the distortion of economic activities in the Southeast in the quest of the independence that we don't know when it will come. Economic emancipation and liberation of the Southeast is sure. The territorial liberation, I don't know yet when it will come. Let us start from the known and then look forward to discovering the unknown. Akọọla ọmalụ ọmalụ, akọọla ofeke ofeyi isi n'ọfịa.